So we are here with Deb from The Office.
Hi.
And this is Real People of the 80s. So Deb, what were the 80s like for you?
Well, in the 80s, I was actually starting my family. I had 4 boys, and so I had my oldest in '79, and then my second in '82, my third in '85, and then my fourth was in the '90s. So I was busy raising kids, and we also moved from southern Minnesota, where we lived or were born and raised, up to Nisswa, and that happened in the 80s too. As far as, I think, fashion, is you want to know all about that too, and music. I don't remember a lot of the music back in those days because I listened to a lot of kids' lullabies and Raffi and all of those things, watched a lot of cartoons. But I do remember a couple of things. Thriller came out in the 80s, and this machine that we listened to it on, it wasn't a VHS, it was even older than that. It was about the size of a record album, and it was a player that you could rent from like Movies to Go or whatever, and you'd put this great big disc in there, and that would be your on TV like your VHS or your DVD now. So that was kind of interesting. I don't remember what it was called, and that didn't last very long. Then it went to the VHS, of course. Hairstyles were big and fluffy and that kind of thing. What else? What else did you want to know? You want to ask me any other questions? That's about it.
Thank you.
I was busy raising kids.
Thanks.
Were you alive in the 80s? No. What were the 80s like for you?
What were the 80s like for me? Well, that's my childhood years, so, I mean, good and bad, you know, I mean, in what way?
Like what was it
I was a terrible
like?
student, a horrible child,
I'm sure you were.
but I had a really fun neighborhood. Are you videotaping this?
Yeah.
Start over, you're making me nervous. For real.
Okay, what was the music and the fashion?
The music is terrible from the 80s. If you don't believe me, you can go to 106.7 on any given Saturday night from like 6 to midnight, and they play that
But we love
music
80s
over
night.
and over and over
We
again.
love 80s night.
Yeah, the music from the 80s was terrible. The fashion was horrendous. Really, the only thing that was really cool about the 80s was me. It's really the only thing I remember that was cool at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read about you in the history books.
Yeah, well, really, you know, I am living history. And yes. Good.
Okay. Is
I
that
think
all?
that's all.
That's it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
1981.
Okay, what were the 80s like for you?
Well, in the 80s I by then had 2 children. My son was born in 1980, and I was having some difficulties with my husband, but on my birthday, after I graduated from college, I announced that I wanted a divorce in 1985. My son was 5 years old by then, and my daughter was 9. It was a bit of a traumatic time for me, but I moved forward and I made sure that I kept the house, I kept the kids, I had my college education. I was pretty well set to go. Got a career in public relations, and then in a radio situation, and then newspaper, and did pretty well for myself. My kids are doing very well.
Cool.
So the 80s were an interesting time period for me.
What was like the style and music and movies and that kind of stuff?
Well, being a new mom and working on my career, I didn't pay that close attention to the fashions of the time. I was focusing on trying to be professional, so wearing suits and learning to be the best me that I could be were more important than staying up with the current fads. But I seem to remember that there were, stockings, you know, like leggings and wild hair and short skirts and bright colors.
Yeah.
But I dress my kids that way, not myself.
Alright,
Thank you.
thank you.
Were you alive in the 80s?
I was alive in the 80s.
What was it like?
And when you say what is it like as far as what people wore or what people
Yeah,
did?
just like the current fads and stuff.
Well, I know people watch Dallas. You know, that's when, soap operas were really popular, although they've been popular for years. But soap operas, watching Dallas, which became like a night soap opera on TV. We were, you know, it was disco dancing more. So that was kind of, you know, popular. What else did we do? Oh, our hair had to be feathered. I'm kind of like in the 80s now with my feathered back hair. I decided it was the 80s was good for me hair-wise, so I went back to a style that was kind of 80s-ish with the feathered look. Let's see. What else? For clothes, we wore, you know, like carpenter pants. Do you know what those are? Carpenter pants are the ones with the loop on the side where you put your hammer. Like painters pants, carpenter pants. And they were colored, you know, like not necessarily jeans, but they came in different colors, like the red. I think I had a red pair and a purple pair of carpenter pants, so that was kind of neat. What else?
About the music?
Music, I don't listen to very much music, but it was our theme song, and when I graduated in '83 was "The Eye of the Tiger." So yeah, that was like our popular song. And the other thing I remember about when I graduated is Jesse Ventura. Do you know who he is? He came to our school, and he was like our mascot because we went to state for football. So that was kind of neat. He followed our school and followed us to state when we went. And then, what else about the 80s? Was I going to say?
Do you think that... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Do you think the 80s had any impact on, like, today's society or anything?
Yes, I'm sure it did, but I'm trying to think of what. Well, one thing is, that's when fast food really, you know, seemed to flourish. Because I can think of, I grew up in Elk River, and we went from having no fast food restaurants to getting, you know, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, and then all of a sudden fast food just really sprang up in the 80s. And that really changed people's lives. And it could be in other big cities they had some fast food, but when I was a kid, we used to go to more like regular restaurants, like supper. We would go to supper clubs, and now so many people go to fast food places. That had a huge impact. And what else? Another thing that really came up in the 80s is homes started to get bigger. You know, a lot of people lived in smaller homes. It was either I'd say we had Rambler style homes or the 2-level like walk-in entries, and now homes, you know, in the 80s and early 90s all of a sudden just became so large that for a lot of people that, you know, almost unmanageable large. What else? Can you think of other questions?
No, I think that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Were you alive in the 80s?
Why do you want to know?
So you were?
What class is this for?
Social.
Oh, no, it was not.
Okay.
Quite
Were you?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Were you? Were you?
No.